welcome, and thank you for coming to another Learning Lab. This morning, we're going to be talking about Xpressdocs. I have up on my screen one of the new things that we're going to be talking about today, which is our scheduled campaigns. We're really excited to introduce this to you guys. We're also going to talk about a couple of the other new products and options that are available in Xpressdocs today. And if you hang out with me, for those of you who might have a little bit of an eagle eye this morning, you'll notice that tab at the very top on the left-hand side that says special offer. For those of you who make it to the end of the class today, I will reveal that tab just for you guys. So hang in there with me. I do have a little something for you for coming this Monday morning. Just as a matter of housekeeping, just as a reminder, this is being recorded, so it will be added to our coaching and training library in the future. Give us a couple of days to get that up and running in there, depending on how long the class is. Haley from our training department is here this morning. She is here to assist and help. She will monitor the chat, and also if you raise your hands and have any questions, she will be happy to either interrupt me or she should be able to answer some of these in chat as well. We are going to go ahead and mute everybody for this class just to get a nice clean recording. Just as a reminder, this is not for any kind of CE credit or anything else like that, so you don't have to have your videos on if you don't want to. It actually helps us have a nice clean recording for YouTube if you shut them off, but you are welcome to leave them on. Just know that you will be on YouTube in perpetuity in the future. All right, so let's get started this morning. We have some great stuff to talk to you about and some great stuff to show you. This is a little bit more of an introduction to some of the new products that we have. And I'm going to kind of go into how you can do things, but we're not going to go too deep in the weeds on that because we've already done a number of classes in Xpressdocs that show you how to do some of this stuff as well. Just want to give you some options, especially as we start to look at more marketing campaigns and what we can do to keep in touch with buyers and sellers, and also prospecting kind of headed into the summer. All right. So we are talking today about the scheduled campaign options here. Do want you to know that we have these already set up in Xpressdocs for you. We're really, really excited about this. So what we've done with Xpressdocs and what Xpressdocs has launched is something called a scheduled campaign. We know that you guys have asked for in the past, and now going into the future, a way to contact your clients, prospects, neighborhoods, fill in the blank, whatever you happen to be prospecting, your spheres, for some kind of newsletter or some kind of really nice upgraded option that you can send to people on a regular cadence so that you can keep in touch with people with really valuable information, but something that's outside of, let's say, an email campaign or something that's outside of those call touch points kind of things. These are to really complement everything else we have going on. So this is designed to give you that really informative, forever agent, let's throw that phrase out there, forever agent kind of campaign that's going to give you really valuable real estate information and advice to give to people that arrives in their mailbox. So we know people are always going to pick up something out of their mailbox. They are going to actually get their mail. They're going to look at it and they're going to read it. We don't have to worry about it going into spam or junk or anything else like that. It's completely branded to you. And it also has some nice tracking options on it, and it gives them really valuable information just about kind of real estate, home ownership, those kind of evergreen topics that we can talk about. The nice thing is they are also customizable. So if the topics that are in there, if you have something you would like to say, they're going to give you some great information that you can just put in there, but you can also go in and you can change your paragraph in there. So if you want to actually talk about a campaign that you're running, or if you have maybe a special offer for your own self, or you want to direct them somewhere else, taglines, things like that, there are ways to upgrade them. These are really, really budget friendly as well. So there's lots of different options that you can have in here. You're going to be able to either send it first class mail, or, we do have that kind of media mail option. The difference in price is really negligible. I would say if you have the opportunity, go ahead and upgrade that to first class all the time. Then you don't have to worry about the timely delivery for that. We do know that the USPS can sometimes be a little slow, especially if we're starting to send some scheduled campaigns out during the holidays when everybody else is mailing stuff too. So I highly suggest the first class if you have that option. The nice thing is all of the pricing as we start to get into this is very transparent as well. So you'll be able to see that pricing before you go ahead and click into it. So I would like to show you what this looks like within our dashboard system and also show you some of the other new products that are available in Xpressdocs that kind of complement these new scheduled campaigns. So I am on our rwtconnect.com dashboard right now. I'm going to show you how you can get into Xpressdocs really easily. I am working in my training account now as Mary Agent. Hopefully everything looks the same for you guys as it does for our training account. But if you go ahead and scroll on down right now in this homepage, you'll see that we have a button called Xpressdocs right here. And if you click that, it is going to take you directly into your Xpressdocs account. Go ahead and click through. Now, for those of you who are on here who might be managers or staff, don't forget when you click that button from your account, you'll be taken to your office account, or you may be taken to a slightly different dashboard where you may have to choose an agent. But for all of our agents who are on here, do know that it's going to take you directly to your account, and it should look something like this. All right. Every time Xpressdocs offers something new, they're always going to put it right on this homepage in this dashboard. And so we're actually going to take a look at a couple of these different options today, right up here at the top. We're going to skip the fire sale. We know everybody loves a sale. As you go in here, you can certainly take a look at it on your own. But we are going to take a look today at letters and the home lead capture. But the very first place I want to go today is up to this button at the top called Programs right here. And we are going to go to scheduled campaigns, and let's take a look at what this looks like. So I'm going to drop into our scheduled campaigns right now. And if this is the first time you're logging into Xpressdocs, I do want you to know that the very first time you might get a little pop-up that's asking you to verify your information. I didn't go through that today because obviously my training account has been in here before, but it is a really straightforward process. You're just going to verify that it's who you say you are. You're in the office you're supposed to be, and it is going to let you go ahead and verify any personalized information that needs to go in there. If for whatever reason you're having trouble with any of your personalized information, you could always go to your office staff. Most of them are experienced in Xpressdocs for one reason or another with helping agents. They can also help you with that profile, or you are always welcome to email marketing@rwtown.com. We'll be happy to adjust that profile for you if you need it. All right. So here we are in that scheduled campaigns. And again, I went to that programs, scheduled campaigns, and it's just going to give us that overview of what those scheduled campaigns are and kind of what they look like. Here's where we're going to get our first look and see what those newsletters have in them. So it's just talking about we're going to nurture client relationships, we're sharing timely information, we're going to grow our leads and referrals, and we're going to do that because all of these scheduled campaigns have ways to contact you back in various forms. So I'm going to get into that as we kind of go through here. We have the benefit of all of this scheduled campaigns because it's consistent communication. We can schedule all of this ahead of time. I love this option. So as I go in here, if I'm an agent, I can say, I want to send out this newsletter every month. Or I have the option of sending this out maybe every other month because I want to send something else out. Maybe I have postcards that are going to be planned instead. Maybe I want to skip this over the holidays. So maybe I want to go ahead and send out my newsletter all the way through November and December, but I have client events where I'm going to have a lot of touch points with my clients in November and December, and I don't necessarily want to send these newsletters out in November and December. I can go ahead and say I just don't want to go ahead and schedule those during that time. Here's the nice thing about this as we get into here. I can say right now, I want to send this out June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then I'm going to get an email that says, do you want to send this out? And if I don't want to send it out, I have the option to opt out of it. So even if I'm opting in right now, maybe we've done a bunch of touch points already, or maybe it's just not going to fall into our budget. Let's be honest, sometimes that happens. Maybe we've decided to do something else for a month. We do have the option to skip that month in the future. So don't be afraid to go ahead and sign up for that newsletter now to go out. And then if you decide not to do it in December, you always have that option to pull it back if you decided to do maybe greeting cards or something like that instead. And again, we've already gone into that you can go into finding and nurturing new leads. You can send this out to radius lists. You can send this out to mailing lists. You can send this out to developing prospect lists. You can send it out to your prospect list that you have. We can pull down those lists from RWT Connect if all of your prospects are in there with all of their addresses as well, and feed that into the system with Xpressdocs. And that's not just for the scheduled campaign. I do want to mention in Xpressdocs, because we're going to go over a couple of different products today, that if you have a spreadsheet that has all of your sphere in it, your prospects, your neighborhoods, whatever it happens to be, we can go ahead and upload that to Xpressdocs and it can be used. The nice thing is it does save your mailing list. So for example, if you decide to send out a newsletter like this to a particular neighborhood and you've created that list and you've uploaded it, then you can go ahead and use that for a postcard in the future. Or if you're in here wanting to do a prospect letter, which we're going to take a look at, you can use that list as well. It's going to show up in your drop down in the future. If you decide to do something like a radius list, which we use a lot for things like just listed cards and just sold cards when we send those out, you can go ahead, those lists will be saved and they'll be in those options. So if you decide to send out a monthly newsletter, maybe because you did have a great response from a just sold card and you've decided to start maybe prospecting that area, or you've started to take a few listings in a neighborhood or an area that's new and you decide to go ahead, let's just put everybody on a newsletter, that will be available in that drop down. So you can always go back and kind of cross-reference those lists you know are starting to work for you. And again, I've already mentioned this. This is very budget friendly. I want you to know, again, that pricing is really transparent. It's always going to be available to you. As we start to go into the program, you'll see it, but it does say it's only $1.20 each. Upgrade to first class for only $1.37 each. So I want you to see what these look like. I'm going to show you kind of the preview here in just a second, but this is a true half fold. So it's a true newsletter. You know, we're going to imagine this here, a true full-sided 4-sheet of paper. And what happens is it does fold and then it folds over again. So think of this as kind of a large postcard by the time it arrives in a mailbox. So it's going to be that fairly large size. So when somebody gets it out of their mailbox, it is going to have that kind of great weight to it. It's obviously going to have content to it, but it is going to look like that folded. It's going to be the size of a postcard by the time it's folded and mailed out. So we can go ahead and view our campaign options. So just kind of go through this real quick, just so you can see what this looks like. So hopefully you guys have had a chance to interact in Xpressdocs. If you haven't, the scheduled campaigns kind of works the same way as all of our different postcard options and our letter options as we get into here. So all of kind of what we can do is over here on the left, and it's going to take us step by step across the top. This is the same if you're, again, if you're doing postcards or letters or anything else, it just takes you step by step and kind of goes through the whole series. So this is what it's letting us know. Here's our 2025 series that we currently have in the system. So it's letting us know that we have to enroll for the June newsletter by June 4th. And our final day to edit this is going to be June 10th. So if we want to go in, and again, we're going to change that paragraph that's available to us to personalize. If we want to go ahead and change the default that's already in there, we need to do that by June 10th. And again, we have the option of turning on or turning off some of these. Maybe your big summer event for your neighborhood is in July. You don't need to send out the mailing list because you're already going to send out invitations. You're going to have a big summer thing for the neighborhood. You're going to have a big 4th of July, maybe, you know, let's just say neighborhood food truck event or something. If you want to turn off July, it's okay. All we're doing is clicking it. It's going to come off. We're not going to send it out in July. Keep an eye out for these buttons that say show all editions. It just means that there's more options available to you. And that's the same in any of our systems in here. Just keep an eye out for those little buttons that say show more. And you can certainly see what that looks like. We have a couple of options here. Some of you are saying, okay, well, what if I want to go beyond December? I just want to do this newsletter and I kind of want to set it and forget it. That's what it's here for. If you scroll over those little eyes, which are those little informational buttons here on the screen, it's going to let you know that it's going to automatically do whatever this thing is here. So this one is saying it's going to automatically enroll you in all future editions of this series. So if you wanted to continue this into 2026, you can certainly go ahead and turn that on. It's just going to go ahead and auto enroll you in those series. If you also want to auto renew, you can certainly do that as well. If you're not sure what these certain options are, again, just scroll over. It's letting you know. Choosing this option will automatically repeat the same order pattern for the next series in this cycle. So you can certainly go ahead and turn those on as well. Okay. Once we've chosen what we would like to send out, we can say continue to personalization. And this is where it's going to bring in your information. So that's why I was saying, if for whatever reason, you have not signed into Xpressdocs on your own before, your personalization might not be set. It's just going to ask you for all that information. Hopefully you've had a chance to do it. It's going to go ahead and bring in what's in your profile. So if you do need to make any changes for whatever reason, you can certainly do that here. All of these are clickable. So here's line 4. It's actually missing my area code. I can just pop that in real quick. It's going to go ahead and save those changes for me. Looks like it has an old email address for my training account here. I can certainly go ahead and change that. And then if I needed to go ahead and swap out my webpage, I can certainly do that as well. So let's just say maryagenthomes.com, and that will save the changes to that profile. It's asking what our return address is. We always want to keep this for the office that you belong in for compliance purposes, and that should default on here. And then it's also letting us know that we need to do this headshot. Now, I wanted to point this out because I do know that we have some teams on here today, and I wanted you to see that we have these expanded headshot options for the first time. So if you don't want to have your headshot on this newsletter, not sure why you wouldn't, but if you don't, you do have the option to say none. If you are a single agent, you can certainly just have your headshot that's on file in here. If you need to edit it, delete it, or change your headshot, you do have that option right here. And again, if any of this, if you can't figure this out or you get stuck for whatever reason, marketing is here to help. So marketing@rbtown.com, we can help you with this. If you have a double headshot, you can also change that. That's going to give you that option to have more than one, or it's going to give you that option to have that expanded size if you wanted to go ahead and put your team in here as well. My training account is only a single agent setup, so I only have one headshot in here, but I do want you to know that you do have those additional options. If, again, you need help getting that uploaded, or if marketing has it on file, you would like us to set that up for you, just let us know. We'll be happy to get that in there for you. Over here on the right-hand side, this is our first chance to get a look at what the content looks like for these new scheduled campaigns, but it also is going to give us that option to change that paragraph that I said that you could edit yourself. So let's take a look at June real quick and take a look at the content. It's just going to bring up a preview here. This is the home inspection cheat sheet newsletter. Here's all of our branding that we have. And again, it's going to have our company logo. It's going to have all of our headshots. It's going to have all of our information. And this is just going to talk about what to expect during a home inspection, making the most out of a small backyard. And then here we have just some more tips. This is great, kind of going into the summer, late spring, how to refresh your landscaping. Here's a little recipe in here. And then here's some other additional information. But again, all of this is branded to you. So just think about this as being folded and then folded over again. And so this is the paragraph that we're going to look at editing right now. It is going to start to fill this in for you already. So this already says getting a home inspection is a key part of the home buying process. With an inspection, you can assess the condition of the property before finalizing the purchase. While attending the inspection is optional, many buyers find it beneficial to observe the process and take notes. So it's just going into kind of basic inspection information. If you would like to change that, or if you would like to add your own verbiage or comments to the content that's in there, you can certainly do that by clicking on any of the pencils. And it's just going to go ahead and bring up the paragraph that you can put in here, kind of give you a little refresher about what else is in there. And you can certainly add your own additional content in here and then hit save changes if you need to. So this is a great place. Again, add a tagline, maybe add some basic information. Maybe you have an item of value on your website, and this would be a good option to have in here. Do you have something about, do you have more information about what a home inspection might be? Are you grabbing some of those forever agent materials that we already have online in marketing resource and you have them loaded to your website? You can say, go here to this particular link and you can get more information about a home inspection. Maybe you want to put something in there that's a call to action, like, do you have questions about scheduling a home inspection, or what kind of home inspectors are out there? Do you want access to my home inspector list? Do you want, there's lots and lots of different calls to action that you can put in there that you can have in your own comments. So if you have those items of value that are coming from all of our different programs or things that you offer to people, you could certainly put those in there as well. I want to take a look at maybe one more just so you can kind of see the content. Let's just jump down to fall. Let's take a look at October, for example. So here we have how to declutter before moving. Again, this is all just really nice evergreen content that you can use. How to stage your home for a quick and profitable sale. And then on the inside, again, we just have how to declutter before moving, relaxation tips during times of change, how to pack like a pro. And then here's a great soup recipe on here. Let's just take how to pack like a pro, for example. Another great thing that you might want to do just to kind of combine all of this, maybe you offer people free moving boxes and it's part of what you offer as a service, and maybe they're branding moving boxes. We certainly have vendors that like to do stuff like that for us. If you have that, maybe you change your comments to something like, do you need moving boxes? Let me know, give me a call, or go to my website, and maybe you have a lead form that's just for ordering moving boxes or something like that. Just kind of think outside the box with some of this content about how you might extend some of this further and maybe change some of that content on that front paragraph right here, just to bring more calls to action to what you have. So again, this is really professional, really well laid out, great content for you. And let's just go ahead and continue to our distribution, just so you can see what your options are. And again, remember I said that there was going to be a lot of transparency here. I love that about Xpressdocs. Everything is really transparent. So we can go first class mail, we can go standard mail. And again, there's those little I informationals. Anytime you need to know what you're doing here, just kind of scroll over to let you know. And then we have the option to create address lists if we need to. So we can do a couple of things here. We can upload our list. So if you are sending something out and you need to export your list from RWT Connect, we can do that for you. You can do that for yourself as well. We have export lists on there. Maybe you're building something out of the tax records, or maybe RPR. We have a lot of different tools that people can use to go ahead and build those mailing lists and be able to pull down those addresses for neighborhoods. I love the fact that we can certainly use, all of our different tax record RPR options to do things like people who haven't moved in 8 to 12 years. We can do people who are living in apartments. We can do all sorts of fun stuff with those uploaded lists. So those are for your customized uploaded lists, neighborhoods, spheres, different vendors that you might want to stay in touch with, whatever it happens to be. If it's a custom list, we can upload it in here for you, or you can upload your own as well. You can do a radius list. Pretty self-explanatory. You pick a house, it's just going to pick the radius around it, and you're going to pick the number of units that you would like to send to. So if you are in a really, really dense area, you might want to pick a house in the middle, and then maybe say that due to your budget, maybe you want to send to those 300 people surrounding that area. You can certainly do that. We have the ability to pick from streets. So maybe you're really, really focused on only particular streets that you're working with in a neighborhood or an area. You can certainly pick by street as well. I will say sometimes it's easier to get all of those streets and neighborhoods and things like that out of some of our tax record options, again, using the MLS, using RPR, whatever it happens to be. And instead of picking 20 different streets, sometimes it's easier just to upload them all instead. There is an option in here for new homeowners. This is really for some of Xpressdocs' other clients that they have that are trying to target new homeowners, things for services and things like that. We're hoping that they extend out some of these purchase list options beyond new homeowners. But new homeowners is an option in here as well for right now. But I would say the majority of time we're either using the upload list, the radius list, or that street list to build. And again, anytime you put a list in here, it is going to save in that little drop down. So if you want to use that list again for just listed, just sold, if you want to use it for postcards, you want to use it for prospecting letters, it'll be available to you as well. I happen to have one in here that I built super fast just for this training class. It was just new homeowners in Hampton. It gave me 303 options here, and I'm going to go ahead and send this over. You have a couple of other options for additional shipped copies, but I want to get down here to the informed delivery by USPS. Hopefully you have all signed up for informed delivery by USPS. If you haven't, you should. It's really easy. By the way, if you just scroll over here and it says what is informed delivery, it'll take you to it'll tell you about what is informed delivery. You can also sign yourself up for your own home. But here's the nice thing, and I have this set up for my own house too. I get a preview every day of what's coming in my mail. I love this, so just in case something is coming that I might need to sign for, or if I have a package coming, or if I want to just keep track of things, or if I want to intercept something before somebody finds out that I charged something to the credit card. We have that available in USPS. Let's just be honest here. Here's the great thing. In addition to the preview of this newsletter, so it's going to show that preview that it's coming. So you're going to get that branded item in their email that comes out that says, hey, this newsletter is coming, from this realtor. It's also giving you a clickable link right below that piece of the mail picture. And you have the option here to send that to a different link. So if you want to send this to selling a home, get complimentary home evaluation, click here. See all the listings in your area, click here. I'm going to show all 15. This is giving you that additional advertising beyond just the mail piece coming to their mailbox. And you can direct this link wherever you'd like it to go. So there's a lot of different options in here. And again, they have obviously Xpressdocs has other industries. They have other different types of advertising in here. Some of these aren't going to be for us, but they do have a number of options for real estate. I'm really fond of buying or selling a home. We can help. Let's chat. We also have check out the just sold homes in your area. This is great for those of you who have built out the neighborhood reports on your site builder website. So if you are prospecting a particular neighborhood, especially with these scheduled campaigns, and you want to send people to that neighborhood market report that has all of those solds on it, plus the actives and pendings, of course, plus all those stats, you can say, check out the just sold homes in your area. I'm going to use that image, and that's going to go below, again, my image on my informed delivery. And I can say I want to use a redirect URL. So maybe I am going to go to maryagenthomes.com / maybe I've got one built for Allenton, and that's where these scheduled campaigns are going to go. So now I'm sending out the scheduled campaign. I've got this little link that's coming in the email that's going to show just a little picture of my newsletter that says, hey, this newsletter is coming from Mary Agent. And oh, by the way, do you want to see the latest sold homes in your area? That's very clickable, and it's going to send them directly to that market link. You can send this anywhere. You can send it directly to your search for homes. You can send it to your just plain homepage. You can send it to another lead form where they can download maybe your buyer's guide or your seller's guide. Whatever you want to do, kind of think outside the box where you want to send it, but we love the informational gathering on here. Here's the other fun part about all this. You do get some analytics and tracking reports in here that show when people have actually clicked on things and when they have used all of these little different extra options that we have. We're going to go into that here in just a second with some of our other new products. But I do love this option. So you do get to know if people are actually clicking on these, if this is being effective. So if you do want to go in and change this in the future, or if you want to change it to maybe a different campaign or a different offering, you certainly have that opportunity. One of the top questions we get in this little section right here is, can we change the images? Right now, we can't. Right now, it's just these ride-along images or these 15 set ones in here. So remember, I said it was going to give us that transparency. So we are saying that we're sending out 7 editions. It's being mailed first class, and we are starting it in June, and we can certainly go ahead and continue it on to payment. Oops, certainly helps if I follow my own directions here. And we can certainly continue on to payment. So let me go ahead and choose my new homeowners in Hampton. And so it's sending out 303. I did have to pay a little extra just because that's a purchase list. Your uploaded, your radius list and things like that are fine. And it's just letting us know that for sending out 303 mails, plus the additional cost there, that we have $442 that it's going to cost me to send out. I can certainly continue to payment. That's okay. By the way, we have a URL validation in here. It is going to check whether it's valid or not. And then we can certainly just go ahead and put in our paid information in here. Lots of different options in here. For those of you who may have credit in Xpressdocs, you can certainly go ahead and use that as well. And hopefully you have your stored credit card in here. It's going to give you information. So it's not charging you for all 7 of those editions up front. It's going to be per edition, and again, it does give you that option to go ahead and cancel if you don't need it. If you hang around, you might be able to use some of these other buttons, but you'll have to give me a second to go through our other 2 products that we have available to us before we get there. Did anybody have any questions on the scheduled campaigns, these new newsletters that are available under our programs, before I move on? Okay, I want to show you a couple of other new products that we have that really, I'm going to not save my changes here, that really complement a lot of things that we're doing as far as prospecting and kind of getting in front of people, and also just being more informative. We know that you guys have asked for some additional tracking, some additional options, kind of really drilling down into the data of who's looking at our mailings, who's looking at things getting into their mailbox. Also, you want a really kind of professional look, but on a more automated basis. And we have a couple of new options in here for Xpressdocs that I'm just going to go through quickly. I do really encourage you to just log into Xpressdocs today and just kind of maneuver around and kind of take a look at a lot of these new options. Remember, you don't have to enter any credit card information or buy anything. You can kind of make it through the process and take a look without ever actually purchasing anything. So do feel free to click in here. I promise you can't hurt anything unless you actually hit the checkout button with your actual credit card information in here. But let's take a look at a nice complement to these monthly newsletters, and that's the real estate prospecting letters. We have a couple of agents, these are fairly new. We have a couple of agents who are really using these with success. One of the things that we were asked for were letters that would come out in an actual envelope instead of a postcard. You wanted something that was really tangible, that was really professional, that people would actually have to open to read the content. And we now have that available to us in this system. So it is right here with this giant new banner on it that probably won't stay there forever, but it is called Real Estate Prospecting Letters. And I can go in here and I click in here and it's going to give us a bunch of different options. We have really nice generic ones. We certainly have seasonal ones. We have just listed, just sold letters. And we also have luxury for those of you who are in there. Now my test account does have a luxury access in here. So just know that we do have some luxury options here, but you may not necessarily see them all the time. So the just listed, just sold are a great alternative to the postcards. Sometimes we want to send out something a little bit different. We want to send out something that has kind of that trackable code to it. We want to send out something that just has a little bit more kind of that meat and that feel to it coming out of the mailbox. But it doesn't necessarily need to be a newsletter, a big folded piece, but this gives you that letter. We also have those seasonal ones. So again, we have winter and spring right now loaded into the system. But for right now, I want to go ahead and take a look at this generic one. And again, it's just letting you know the benefits and options here. So I do love the prospect newsletters for a couple of different reasons. They are really personalized. So it is going to say John and Jane Doe at the top of it, and it's going to include that address, and it's going to include delivery tracking on it. So you will know if somebody is getting this newsletter. You're going to know if somebody has actually clicked on it as well. So I want you to see this here. Gain insights and tracking data with recipient level QR codes. See this section right here on all of these different letters. These are all calls to action. These are all going to different things on your website or going to home eval or whatever it happens to be. We can check to see whether that particular letter was opened by that particular person. So it's a little bit different. So let's talk about that home valuation section. This does not go to our home valuation through BuySide. This goes to one that's built into the Xpressdocs system, and that's okay because we need it for tracking. So just remember, when we send out something from BuySide for home valuation, we're kind of sending it into the universe. We might get something back that says, somebody checked the value of the home at 123 Main Street, and the person's name in the tax record is Jane Doe. We don't actually know if it's Jane Doe actually checking that information or if it's a neighbor or whatever it is, unless they claim the listing or they sign up for the monthly newsletter. Then they have to give us additional information and claim that property. Sometimes we'll get an email that says, hey, Jane Doe is asking for monthly updates through our home valuation on 123 Main Street. And here's her email address. And here's her other information. Here's some information she changed on the listing to change the condition or whatever. That's what we get through BuySide. What this does is that there's a home valuation kind of report built into Xpressdocs now. And again, this is new. I'm going to show you the other option for this here shortly. But what it does is this is going to send that prospecting newsletter directly to 123 Main Street. That QR code that is on that sheet of paper that comes in that envelope is specifically tagged for 123 Main Street. If I've opened that letter and I'm sitting at my dining room table and I take my phone out and I click on that QR code with my phone and I get 123 Main Street's report automatically, it's going to let you know that it was that exact letter that opened. I like this option because then we know exactly who to target. And as we're all looking at our budgets, as we're all looking at effectiveness of marketing and things like that, we do want to know who's opening and who's clicking and who's, so we can track, and we can also move some of these people maybe to more of our hot prospects. Maybe we're really doing a lot of heavy, neighborhood marketing, and there's a house down the street who keeps looking at this home valuation. They keep clicking on this thing. They're not anybody you ever thought would move. Maybe there's somebody who just moved in last year, but you don't know that they just got new orders to move somewhere else. Or maybe they got a new job offer and they're going to be moving out of the area less than a year after they moved in. You never know what's going on, but you do know that they continued to either check their home valuation or they were the ones who actually checked for that report. It's a great option to be able to move them again. maybe to a hotter target list. Maybe you start sending them some more information. Maybe you start doing some digital retargeting with them with some of our other tools. Maybe you keep them on that hot prospect list that you kind of accelerate how often they might get mail or scheduled mail from you. This might be a good option too, to maybe start with the printed letters that go out instead of the newsletters. And as people start to check, maybe you move them to that newsletter list. Maybe you move them to that, higher quality piece, whatever it happens to be. Again, think outside the box how you would kind of connect all this with some of your other marketing as you find that people are actually looking for their home valuation, or as they're clicking on your website, or as they're using these customized QR codes that are now available in Xpressdocs. So let's take a look really quickly at some of these letters that we have. I'm not going to go into that whole prospect, but I do want you to see that there's a lot of different options here, a lot of different designs, a lot of different information. So there's something for everybody. So we have things like, hey neighbor, it's kind of, do you want to buy? Are you looking to sell? I have buyers. This is a nice thing to follow up. If you find out that they're clicking that QR code, maybe you follow up with dropping off or putting in the mail a BMA from the buy side system that actually shows we have real buyers in our system. So again, combining these with some of our other tools. We talk about upgrade your life one property at a time. Let's just take a look at this one real quick here. This one talks about the real estate market in our community has been gaining interest. Many of my clients have expressed curiosity about exploring new opportunities. Whether you're considered selling your current home or want to test the waters about finding a new one, I believe now could be the ideal time to take that step. So it's just talking about your experience. It's talking about your expertise as a realtor. And again, there's that customized QR code. We have some options here. Just want to show you what those options are. So it's letting you know that this is a folded letter. It's going to be in a window envelope. There we go. We have that QR code, and so it can either go to the Express links, it can go to that home value for an additional 2 cents. That's going to give you that report on that home value, or it can go to an additional URL as well on here. So if you want to send them to your website, again, for those market reports, for those lead forms where you might be collecting information and then giving them back an item of value, like your seller or guide or buyer guide, you do have that option as well. Maybe you have a different URL. Maybe you're going to take this letter and focus on following you on social if you're trying to build your social presence, whatever it happens to be. You can certainly use your own personalized URL in here as well. And again, you have that option of first class mail or standard mail. Again, if you can do first class mail, highly, highly, highly recommend it, just to make sure that it gets delivered and delivered on time. And then it's letting you know that you have some paper options and things like that. You can certainly go ahead and customize those. I'm going to go back to the generic here just so you can take a look and see what that looks like. So we have lots of different options here, thinking about selling, talking about selling, just I'm your realtor. We have lots of different prospecting options in here. And then we certainly have an upload your own option in here as well. If you need help creating one of these prospecting newsletters and you're thinking about uploading your own, please, 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 please let marketing help you with this, just to make sure that we get it formatted correctly, make sure that it's going to be read as professional, make sure that QR code works. You can certainly go ahead and send in a custom order if you need help on RWT Connect. We have options to either ask for a custom order on there, or certainly put in an order on Agent Central. Marketing is happy to help you create some of these customized newsletters. And that way we make sure that it all fits within that window and everything else that's in here. The big thing I wanted to show you here is that we do have this option for you now. We've asked for these professional newsletters. We've asked for things that have this tracing, trackability, analytics. We've asked to be able to be really conscious about what our marketing budgets look like. And this is a really, really great solution for that. So if you're looking to maybe not go that monthly newsletter route like the scheduled campaigns, maybe you just want to start out with this kind of letter campaign instead, 100%, you can certainly do that in here as well. We can even go back a little bit, and we do have this option available to you in a trackable postcard now as well. I wanted to show you that option here. We have this home value lead capture. And again, that's going into that personalized QR code. So if we send out this postcard to 123 Main Street, and 123 Main Street gets the card and was like, hey, I would love this free report, and they click on their phone and they get that QR code, and it's going to take them directly to that report for 123 Main Street. We know that 123 Main Street is the one who clicked on it because you're the only one that has that personalized QR code in the system. It really, really helps for budgeting and moving people again to that hot prospect list. making sure that everything is working well for you. Couple of different options here with that home value lead capture. We do, again, have those generic real estate ones. So this is going to be really similar to what you've seen in the past. Lots of things like sold, property showcases, how much is your home worth, lots of different options in here. You can even upload your own photos. So if you have just listed something in a neighborhood and you would like to send this out with the just listed information on it and say, hey, I just listed this in your neighborhood. Maybe people are shocked. Oh my gosh, I never thought the house on the corner would go for $550. I wonder how much my home is worth. Those options are here for you as well on the back. And again, you can see who's doing that clicking via those analytics. Again, lots of different options in here for those postcards. And again, it's just showing you here that you have that QR code for the recipients to check their home value. You're going to receive those email alerts whenever a QR code is scanned or a contact form is submitted, and you can track leads and their interactions and curate targeted address lists with the lead analytics dashboard. So again, as you know that these people are clicking in and you want to move them to those hot leads, these mailing lists become available to you in the system. It's going to start helping you curate those mailing lists, do more targeting mailing lists, know who's actually checking and using your products that are in here. I'm going to go back to that home lead capture real quick, just because I want you to see the seasonal. We hadn't looked at any of our seasonal cards quite yet, but sometimes we don't want the hard sell. Maybe we want something a little more seasonal, a little bit softer. And of course, we certainly have all of these options. So we have some calendaring in here. We certainly have some just spring housing market is in full bloom. We have some stuff for coming up in the summer. Want the scoop on the real estate market? Maybe we have this. You know, I love something like this. If I were an agent, maybe I would go ahead and kind of preemptively send this out to my neighborhood of want the scoop on the summer real estate market. And then I can go ahead and have that kind of QR code on the back. And then maybe my customized content on the back of here is going to be that for our neighborhood event that I'm sponsoring the ice cream cart that's going to be available at our neighborhood flea market or our neighborhood garage sale, or maybe if they just come to the neighborhood park on a certain date between a certain time that the ice cream cart will be there. Maybe tie it in with something fun and some kind of events on here as well. So again, think outside the box and how you can tie this in with all of your other marketing and kind of what you're doing on here as well. Remember that we have all of our different options on here. So not going to go into the weeds too far on here, but we do have that QR code. We can certainly choose which mailing options we want to send it out. It's going to let us know we have some upgraded options on here. It's going to give us our PDF. And then of course we can go and customize it. And how we're going to customize it is we can change that messaging on the back. We can change that URL if we need to, depending on what product we're looking at. We can change our headshots. We can add our mailing list. We can do all the same things. Where do I find the analytics dashboard? So the analytics dashboard becomes available once you start sending this out. You'll also start getting them in the email. And if you click in the email, it'll go ahead and take you right on through to that dashboard and let you see what's going on in there. On this test account, I don't happen to have it, but I can certainly get a screenshot of one and pop it out into your email when I'm done. Did anybody have any questions about some of our new options here for either the subscription newsletters or some of our new options on the real estate prospecting letters or some of these new targeted home valuation options here? Pretty excited about some of this new tracking and analytics and being able to really see who's opening things, really helping with that targeting and budgeting and kind of a really great complement to a lot of the email marketing we're doing and a lot of the digital marketing we're doing here. No questions today? All right. Well, I did promise you a treat for hanging in there with me today. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and present that in full screen view so you have it. I really thank you for joining me today. This is your code, RWTownTrain. It is for 15% off any order. It expires in 30 days and it's only a one-time use per agent. So I hope that all of you go in today and use the code and go ahead and set yourself up on one of our new options, or even if you don't want to use one of the new options yet, if you go ahead and take a look at maybe some postcards or things like that. If you haven't touched base with your neighborhood, or if you haven't touched base with your sphere lately, go ahead and take the opportunity to take 15% off any order, and we will be happy to approve it and get it sent out for you and hopefully generate you some more business heading into the summer. Thank you again for joining us today, and hopefully I'll see you again at the next Learning Lab.